Hey YouTube, it's Miss Kabumba here. If you want to hear something crazy, scary, creepy, don't make your skin crawl, stay tuned for my new series, Diary of a Puppet. We are going to cover the most toxic man in my life. So, this man, they scare me. I have been emotionally manipulated twice prior to them, and they still played in my face like a violin. Ain't that what Rihanna said? So this all started back, roll it all the way back to May 2025. I was in a group chat with Black creatives from my school that sent out opportunities. I happened to stumble upon a post about a fashion opportunity, and it said the message was from Nax_future for more information.
Let's go.
I'm trying to get in my Raven Baxter bag. I was feeling nice, so I wanted to sign up. So I proceeded to message Nax. After hearing there would be some professionals, I was so scared. Fun fact about Nax. They have been following me on Instagram, liking most of my posts for the past 4 years, but I have never seen them or spoken to them in a day in my life. So I didn't think anything of it. It's Instagram. People just follow each other. So yeah, I never followed them back. Knox was someone that went to my school, but the community was, kind of big. I just never crossed paths with them. So as soon as I messaged Knox, and they explained there would be some professionals at the fashion competition, I did start to pull back a bit. They reassured me it will be fun, then explained if I have experience in sewing, I should be good to go. Then I showed them more of my designs, and they hyped me up, but I still kind of felt underaccomplished. From then, we started to talk about wanting to outdo the older versions of ourselves and our passions for the creative industry. An enlightening conversation. At this point, we were up until around 3 a.m. texting back and forth like teenagers. I don't think neither of us wanted this conversation to end, and it just fills my heart with so much joy meeting a fellow like-minded creative. It is something so rare and not something I just, want to let go of. As late as it was, you would think we would have went to sleep, but we proceeded to talk on the phone for hours. From there, Knox explained they've been following me for years and admitted that they always wanted to talk to me, but they didn't think I'd give them the time of day. We talked a lot, so they definitely convinced me to join the fashion competition. Give it about 2 weeks later, guys. We're texting and calling every single day until we were finally able to meet. The date is May 26, 2025. I actually mentioned to them that I completed a film production program and it's my graduation day. I didn't tell most people I was in the program, even my own family. I just made the moves in silence. That's what you gotta do. So on my graduation day, Nax comes in with their friend Albert with a huge bouquet of pink orchids. I love flowers. Nax knew that. And they did ask me before what's my favorite color. I said pink. And yeah, that's what they brought me. So I greeted both Nax and Albert by hugging them. Funny enough, I actually knew Albert because he was the one that originally put me in that group chats with Nax, because he was one of the organizers, or what we call administrators at the time. After my graduation, because I knew Albert, I followed them. This is something I do not recommend to people. Do not be like me. I ended up safe, but be better than me, okay? We were now in Nax bought me gelato and shared it with me. Once we got into the car, it was Nax, Albert, and I together. Suddenly, the first red flag was there, and I completely brushed it off. Albert says Nax has a girlfriend. I'm not gonna lie, that did take me by surprise because we were speaking about school, the fashion competition coming up, our lives for some time now. 2 weeks, right? They did not mention they had a girlfriend. I was not feeling them that way. It's just a little sketchy. I do think it's interesting to leave out that detail. I feel like for anyone to leave out that they are in a relationship with new friends that they're meeting, especially someone you're speaking to every single day for 2 weeks, that means they're not in a happy relationship. Keep that in mind, folks. Suddenly, there was another red flag. After I first met them, they did not want me to go home. We drove to my house after graduation. Albert quickly mentions one of their mutual friends lived nearby, so Nax keeps driving. And I mentioned they passed my home. But we all just started laughing because the mutual female friend lived in my neighborhood. I know it sounds sketchy, but I feel like some people are directionally challenged. And also, I knew Albert's, and I wasn't getting that sense of fear. Still, y'all, don't be like me. We met up with the mutual friend. She was really nice. And as people were catching up, Nax talks to me one-on-one. We were in a group of people that I don't really hang out with because this is their mutual friend. This is Nax and Albert, but they talk to me one-on-one while we're in a group of people, looking at me in the eyes and saying they didn't hear about my recent trip. I had gone to Montreal and I just told them it was nice. And they said,
Yeah, please talk to me more about it. I'd love to hear more details.
another red flag was presented the same night. We take a group picture and they put their arm around me. This is the very first time they met me. While they had a girlfriend. So they drove me back home with everyone else. And I just thank them for the day because at the end of the day, they came all the way to my graduation, got me flowers, we shared ice cream, introduced me to their people, and drove me home. It was good conversation, great laughs. I was actually grateful and happy. So the flags at that moment weren't as visible as they are right now. We continued to hang out, and one day after picking me up from work, in the parking lot, waited an extra hour because I went overtime, went to their space and ordered sushi because they know I love sushi and they love sushi. Played chess and talked for hours. They told me they are already loving so many things about me and writing them down.
He's stressed. He didn't think that I could be him, and I'm forcing him in a draw.
This was already one of the best days I've ever had. We were both geeked. At this point, the friendship was blossoming, and I got to do things and talk to them in a way I don't with so many people. I found a friend that values the art of exploring. Every time we're together, it seems like we're doing something different and unique. And a friend that holds a deep crave to create and expand, as they believe we weren't meant to just fit into boxes. We're all such unique individual souls. I found a friend that actively communicates on how we can do better as people by taking an inner look and acknowledging that changes start from within and then it reaches out to the community. They did start moving weird. Very weird. But we're going to get back to that later in the story. I found a friend that cares so much about the Black diaspora, really advocating for our community as a whole, and stays educated on current events we can be involved in to ultimately support our people. I found a friend that actually has an urgency in learning about cultures and what shapes people to think and do the things they do. I found a friend that is passionate about loving people around us, as we're supposed to be connected as human beings. Someone who aligns with me so much and adds value to my life with their knowledge, experiences, network, and positive outlook is not someone I'm just gonna let go of. We got very close. As the night was getting really late, and I'm talking around 3 to 4 a.m., guys, we decided it was time for me to go home. So as we were driving back to my ends, we watched the sunrise. We sat in the car just talking. Someone who can match me on my communication level and really talk from the heart, mind, and soul is something I really love. And even though I got in my house at 5 a.m., sunrise, this is after a whole day of work, we stayed on the phone. And I was falling asleep. I was getting real tired because at this point, it's around 7:30 in the morning. Saying I got off work probably 7 p.m. We're together for like 12 hours at this point. From the first link up, it was just a few hours to around a 12-hour day of us chilling in their space, driving and staring at the sunrise, talking on the phone, and it's literally morning. I think I had to hang up because I was getting so tired. They called back saying they didn't want to end the phone call before saying goodnight and that they love me. They were telling me they were looking for what they saw in me in the relationships, looking for a connection like we have their whole lives. They said I was the missing piece that they've always wanted. It was one of those moments did we just become best friends? I definitely went to bed smiling that day. I was very happy. I was delighted to be around Nax. It's now a whole new month. Welcome to June. Summertime's here. So the next time we see each other is at the fashion show on June 14th, 2025. This was in Scarborough, where we were both actually raised. I get off Rouge Hill Station. I really hate that I associate Rouge Hill Station with Demon Nax. But anyways, I made my way down to the event. A lot of Nax's family and friends were at this event as well. I was texting Nax about being nervous, and they said they were on their way there. So they see me coming in with their girlfriend in the back, and they fist bumped me. Not a hug like they usually do the last 2 times we hung out. They fist bumps me like we're acquaintances. Like they don't say I'm becoming one of their very good friends. The bright red flag here is that Nax acted like they didn't know me in front of their family. I know I'm recapping a story, but this actually hurts. It hurts so much because I know I'm worthy of being introduced to family and friends. And this was a moment where I was treated like an object. This was a moment where someone says one thing and treats me one way, but then as soon as I am in front of other people they care about, like their family, they act like I don't even exist. And this actually hurts. It hurts. Then I'm looking back at these moments and these flags. This moment cut deep, and it only gets worse in the story. The first lie, they said,
I couldn't hug you or talk to you at this event because if you end up in the top category and they see we know each other, it's gonna look rigged.
They knew what to say to play the situations off too well. Thankfully, I still had a good time. I met new friends, and guys, I did pretty well in this competition. I'm talking top 3. I'm talking second place in my first fashion competition when I had less than a year practice of sewing. Amen. I won so many things that I am so forever grateful for. I know y'all probably wondering, but what happened to Nax? Well, when they introduced me and they fist bumped me, their girlfriend was in the back, and they said, "This is my girlfriend, Tasia." Tasia just stares at me, so I said, "Hey Tasia, it's a pleasure to meet you. Could I give you a handshake or a hug?" They stare at me dead in the face, and they say, "You could give me a hug." And I gave them a hug. That wasn't the most delightful impression, I'm not gonna lie, but throughout the competition, she was pretty nice. She kept coming at my table saying she loves my designs. She said she wants me to make something for her one day. And Nax, Tasia, and I talked at the end of the event. I said it was so nice to meet her, and I can't wait to spend more time with her and Nax together. That's when Nax told me that bold-faced lie about, "Oh, people gonna think we connected for the competition." I just wanted to end everything off on a good note because I don't like bad blood. I did invite Nax to my next event that we're going to talk about soon because I was hoping we could spend more time together since we didn't talk at all during the competition, and I thought it would be a nice thing to do and reconnect. I thought it would be a nice thing to do. My cosplay event is June 21st, 2025. Literally the next week. I got Nax and my friend Kalia free tickets. From there, Nax and I continue to talk every single day. On the phone for hours, day and nights. Nax called me the night before the event, saying they're planning to do an all-nighter because they want to show off their new handmade cosplay, and said I am inspiring them and pushing them to be more creative. After working late, back to back, in minimal time to finish my cosplay, I made it work. I did Musa from Winx Club, started my makeup in the bathroom, and slayed. I had fun being a cosplay ambassador for the first time. Shout out to ANC3. I had Kalia spend all day with me and even told them about Nax. I was so shocked when I saw Nax walk in, see me, said hi, then barely spoke to me. As I went closer towards them, hugged them because that's how they always are with me from the past few interactions we've had, it felt like they decided to spend that day spending more time talking to their friend that they brought in, Toby, right? And strangers. Even though the entire week they were texting and calling me in literally the morning before my event saying how excited they are to see me and they know it's been a week, but this will give us good time to spend time together.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
They actually even left after an hour. Honestly, didn't even feel like I was talking to the same person once again. How the heck did we have such great interactions in person, talk, text, hours, and when they see me, they're acting like they don't know me when they were around their friends or family? And when they spent an hour there at my cosplay events, actually ditched me to go to another party. They spent the entire night there when they said that they're just going out for a bit. And then they decided to call me at the end of their party around 1 a.m. Saying that we should link up. Saying that they're going to come pick me up. They're going to give me a drive home. They want to see me. Guys, why would I see someone that I invited to my event and then they're acting like they don't even know me and then ditching me to go to another party and then only wanting to see me when it's nighttime? So far, every time we hang out, it's nighttime. My graduation, when I went to their ends, and even my cosplay events after party. I kindly declined and I decided to stop talking to them from here on out. Okay? I said if I'm going to speak to them, they're going to have to contact me and then we can have a conversation because I don't feel like bringing that up. I still had a good day. I just thought that was crazy. It's like I'm getting different vibrations, different energy. 3 days go by. They called me and I brought up that they were acting weird.
You judged me before you knew me, so
I had a reason. I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason?
I don't need to explain myself to you. And
What was the reason?
And once again, they hit me with another lie that I was able to believe. They said they were giving me space because they thought I'm really busy working as an ambassador and didn't want to bother me. And that's why they said it wouldn't have been a big deal if they went to the party. Considering we talk so much and they want to show up for different people in their lives. Even though they never mentioned to me prior that they had a party to go to. They sounded like they were more excited about my events than the party. And now they're telling me that the party was okay. They didn't even really want to stay that long. It's because they were with their friends that they drove and their friends wanted to indulge in stuff. So they had to drive their friends around. That's just weird because I invited you to my event that you said you were excited to be a part, that you said you wanted to see me at. Yeah. And I actually did feel bad when they lied to me. They were able to get into my head because I thought, oh my gosh, am I attacking someone who genuinely just wanted to show up for me and their friends, but just didn't know how to handle all those interactions in one day? They even threw in that they felt anxious and that's why they didn't want to stay at the party long. Yet they felt anxious, so their solution was to go to another party that was even more crowded with people actually getting turned.
What?
The empath in me forgave them, even though they got into my head. They didn't want to see me. They wanted to go to another party and just make an appearance. But I forgave them because they said they were anxious. And I know how that feels like, even if they were lying.
I shouldn't have to be the one to mess up with you, so why do I want to?
I wasn't upset. We continued to speak every day. Nax explains they're excited to see me because a week goes by since the cosplay events and there's this get-together from the fashion competition, and I was excited to see them too. This was hosted actually at their house, so this is my first time in Nax's crib because their mom was actually the organizer from the fashion competition. It was a good time. We ate food and did an interview about the fashion competition because Nax's dad is actually a filmmaker and was documenting everything to make a mini documentary. I think this was a power couple. I think Nax's parents are the coolest people ever. They're in two industries that I love, which is fashion, sustainable fashion, and filmmaking. Then Nax being an artist, entrepreneurial spirit, really collaborative, really kind. I really like these people. I thought they were dope, and I knew on top of that, they could help me do better at my field of work. We had a good time. Nax didn't talk to me too much, and when I got home, we had a phone call. I honestly felt at this point I was finally getting to know way more about Nax because they told me they aren't the most comfortable in front of their family. That's why they're less talkative when I'm around. And you know what? I respected that honesty. We then decided Afrofest is coming up. Y'all know about Afrofest. I've made Afrofest vlogs. If you ain't seen it, you should check it out. But anyhow, we said we gotta pull up together since it's a 3-day weekend. Afrofest ended on a ghetto note, not gonna lie. So we went to the St. Lawrence market and it was just so cute. When I tell you, going out with Nax honestly felt like a movie.
Yeah, you're supposed there. Now turn the other way like a...
Hi.
What do you do? What's your name?
My name is Carolina. Y'all can call me Miss Kabumbo too. So I'm a fashion designer, sustainable fashion designer. So I made this whole outfit, like the top, the skirts, and like look, little keychain. But there's more to come. I make fun outfits. I'm also a creative director. I'm a stylist too, an artist, an animator, a content creator, a model. Oh, and a great friend. And I love creating and I love people. So yeah, people, let's create something cool together.
Let's create something.
That's what we're trying to do.
And we agreed. It's like a connection I just can't explain. It's just really, really strong. It was perfect. It was honestly perfect. I'm smiling right now telling this story. Like they didn't end up trifling at the end, but we're gonna get to that. I have to mention this. Nax has a girlfriend, right? We got a lot closer and they're an affectionate person. I'm talking holding my hand. I realized that's something they like to do. And they tell me that's just a common thing in a queer community. It's non-intimate physical touch. I'm not queer. And they were holding me to the same standards. I remember mentioning doing this may be giving couple. So it actually doesn't bother them looking like a couple when they're with a friend. They also mentioned to me their girlfriend is also queer and very affectionate with her friends as well. They explained this is all about being free-spirited. But I don't know to which extent though. I don't know how honest they were actually being with me. So Nax, from what I see now, recording this video, use their queerness and the fact that they have a lot of female friends to fake a safe space for me. As much as it was fun spending time with them and talking to them like they are one of the girls, Nax literally told me they're a ninja at the end of the day. So that's how they see themselves. They slowly started to snitch on themselves. The red flags were waving in my face, guys, but I was blinded by the rose-colored glasses. They actually called themselves a ninja at the end of the day. Right afterwards, they told me not to trust any ninjas when I know they're one of them, bro. They'd say these things that all applied to their character. Don't trust any ninjas. All men are liars. Men are mass manipulators. Say I'm too forgiving. And there's too many emotional, abusive people that are going to take advantage of me. And I need to realize that grown adults know exactly what they're doing and to not put it past them. So this whole time, Nax was talking about themselves. Her love bombing started to happen too, a lot more, with the actions and the words, guys. They'd say, I love you so much. I'm calling you as a request to hear your voice to help me sleep because you're so soothing. I feel anxious and I would love to have your presence. I'll do everything I can to keep you in my life and I'm going to fight to keep you here. You're the friend I have always wanted. I never knew how much I needed you. I love looking into your eyes and communicating to you that way. I'm going to be very selfish with you in my life when other people want to come into your life. And would even say, are you trying to replace me? I remember when I mentioned they were pretty physically affectionate one day. They did not like when I mentioned their physical affection because they said when I'm mentioning their actions, it makes them feel bad.
Todd, I'm sorry, all right? I screwed up. I know I screwed up.
Oh, great, of course. Here it comes. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing shitty things and then feel bad about yourself like that makes it okay. You need to be better.
I know, and I'm sorry.
So this is how I was constantly gaslighted, because I don't want to make my friends feel bad. Knox would also mention that, oh, they're just trifling because it comes from their Jamaican blood. Speaking of Jamaican, they mentioned their favorite song is Gyales. I wonder how they relate to it, guys. So when they were acting a fool, I then tried bringing it up. It's crazy to think that earlier this week, the same week where I went out with their friends, Albert, Toby, Tasia, they were all there. And y'all see this? I literally took their first couple picture because they said they don't take any. So all I tried to do was be a good friend. I get together with their circle. I start to see Knox 2 to 3 times a week throughout the whole summer. I was even invited to their family's barbecue events, the family's friend barbecue events. This friend in particular was actually from Knox's ex's side. This was an ex that Knox does not keep in contact with. However, they still keep in contact with all the other exes. They come over, they work together, they call, they hang out. But this ex was a recent one, actually from an open relationship.
Huh?
Knox actually revealed to me after a while that they come from an open relationship. And their current girlfriend was the new member, and they booted out the last girl. Knox tells me this closer to the events. And when I tell y'all, this ended up being the worst function I have ever been to in my entire life. I get picked up by Knox and Tasia, and I can tell they're non-speaking terms. They're always on and off. She does not say a word. We get to the barbecue, and Tasia stands there for about 2 minutes, then goes back into the car. Knox says it would just be me and them for the day. Knox goes to the car and tells me to wait. So now I am standing at a barbecue with no pescatarian food, all by myself and no one talking to me. Then Knox comes back and acts like they don't know me at all. They mention their exes around, so they're ashamed to be near me. They tell me Tasia went back to the car because she feels awkward about the aunties looking at her. Mind you, this is the ex's family where she home-wrecked the 5-year relationship. I don't know why they even showed up to the barbecue. Knox makes it seem like they're on good terms with all their exes, but clearly not. I saw it firsthand. They invited me somewhere to just abandon me once again. This time was worse than all of the other times because I was actually alone, guys. No food, no ride, no friends around, low data in a random park. It wasn't like the other times where I knew how to get my way around, or I had my people, or I went there with the mindsets of I'm not going to communicate with too many people anyways. But no, I went there thinking we were going to have a time. But we did not. I even had to go and get my own drink. Literally just like a juice box and a water bottle because Knox didn't want to come up with me. They didn't want to be around me at all. So throughout the barbecue, everybody was coming up to Knox, talking to them, saying they haven't seen them in so long. And obviously I put 2 and 2 together later on because they were super close with that ex, 5-year relationship and their whole family. So everybody's saying hi to them. It's people they knew from the community they grew up in and, her family. But it's just crazy that I was not introduced. They were just acting like I wasn't associated with them at all. There is no reason at all for them to want me to come.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
They acted like they were completely embarrassed and ashamed to be around me at their ex's family events. I should have never been there. I should have never been there. I should have never been invited. The family friend should have never invited all three of us. These were very long hours. I even had strangers coming up to me asking if I'm okay because they see that I am the only person there sitting alone, not eating anything because the food's not pescatarian, not talking to anyone because everybody like grew up together or their family, and nobody was trying to talk to me because I came with the ex, right? Knox knew exactly what they were doing because they mentioned, I'm so quiet. And I looked at them like, I don't got much to say. And they knew why. They knew why. I didn't have to explain it. So we eventually did the 3-legged race, a quick 100-meter sprint. And they were so foul for what they did because I was ready to go home when they said we were leaving. So when they dropped off their girlfriend, because she didn't want to be around the ex's family, she homeworked, even though it was her decision to go. I thought I was going to go home. They knew they were foul. They knew this was not a good day. They knew I should have never came. There's no reason for all three of us to show up a place that's not our family and that you're not close to, but you pretend to be close to. They knew they messed up. They apologized. They fed me. Said they don't want me to feel excluded again.
Stop the cap.
It's crazy how we see each other multiple times a week. And just a few days ago, I got invited to be with their friend group at their house. But sometimes they treat me like they don't want any association with me at all. So they ended up getting me food, we sat in the car, and yes, I forgave them. I feel like people deserve forgiveness because they don't mean what they do. That's what I thought at the time until I reflected on this entire story. I thought they did a nice thing, especially since they've helped me so much with what I had going on. This all happened before I had a mini fashion show, and they showed up for me. They drove me there. They hyped up all the models. They literally picked the models when I said, I don't know who can model for me last minute. They literally picked the models. They were a W friend most of the time. So this was just a slip up, but this was the biggest slip up once I reflect on what they did and what happened later. We ended up spending more time together, as I said, and we had that picnic to make up for the horrendous barbecue. I was actually very grateful for them showing up, acknowledging their mistake, and being a great friend for half the year I knew them. When we spend time together, it's like a movie. It's so corny, but we're like, we make movies together. Let's not make a commercial. That's what we call it when we don't want to do something too boring.
I saw his glasses and his money.
So I made a pretty much gift basket. I had their favorite snacks, yellow flowers, because I remember they said no one's got them flowers before, and yellow's their favorite color. So everything that I had in the gift basket was yellow. So think of like stationery items, room decor things, all yellow. Again, I didn't take a photo of this, so imagine this that I just pulled up from Pinterest. Cute, right? I think not. Because July 31st, when we spent time together, it ended up on a terrible note. They invited me last minute, mentioning it yesterday night, to me to go to Toronto's Emancipation Night events. This day was so busy for me. I commuted my way down to see them. They were constantly saying how I looked good. They like looking into my eyes and always holding my hand because they say they like being close to me and we're best friends. They saw their ex's family though, once again. And remember how that barbecue went? So they completely abandoned me, running towards their ex's family, backing away from me completely.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I felt so embarrassed and awkward. This was worse than the barbecue. I was convinced this was the last day I would ever speak to them. As they returned back to me, I was quiet on the subway, looked at them in the eyes and said, "You're embarrassed to be around me and constantly abandon me when you see people you recognize." Then I fell asleep. I was exhausted. I wake up, there was some loud noise on the subway. You know how Toronto is. And this man gonna hit me with, "I liked having you cuddle on my shoulder. It makes me so happy." Sir, read the room. Like, what is happening? Then they lied to me once again. I was not having it. They said, "I thought you were right behind me the entire time. I would never abandon you."
Why you always lying? Why?
They promise they'll work on just being a better friend.
Stop the cap.
I can accept different kinds of people. I just cannot accept people acting one way, then acting like they want nothing to do with me. They are the exact definition of hot and cold, like Katy Perry sang.
You know that you're no good for me. 'Cause you're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're no. You're in, then you're out.
While I'm making this video, it honestly does pain me to see how many times I forgave them and they kept hurting me. But I didn't know any better. I honestly thought every time they were hurting me, it was a mistake and they would never do that again. I definitely thought wrong after this happened. Anyways, time goes by. It's officially August. Nax and I are still speaking. They invited me over to their free base. And I've came over to their house about 4 times prior to this. But this time, things were different. They had a different vibe. And I didn't know why. And Nax looked at me into the eyes and said, "I love you." The full sentence was, "I love you, Carol, and I want to know what your lips feel like." I told them no, and they still attempted 2 more times. Guys, this man was trying to kiss me while having a girlfriend, trying to turn me into their side chick. And when I declined, that's literally when they flipped the script and they just started talking about how much they love their girlfriend and how she's had their heart and soul for the past 10 years.
Stop the cap.
But you gotta hold people accountable. I think Nax keeps their polyamorous habits while being in a monogamous relationship. They cover it up by saying it's their personality to be touchy and very loving. However, they are not trying to touch me in a platonic way. They would call me their romantic platonic friend. The past few months, I didn't realize they were using me to fulfill their needs that they could not get from their girlfriend that wasn't actively around them. Nax would only even call me when the girlfriend was not around. As soon as they would drop her off, even at nighttime, guys, they would call me back immediately. Like they were trying to keep me as a side chick, guys. But I'm their friend, right? I'm just a friend. Nax would even get annoyed when I had to remind them that they have a girlfriend. As we would go out, they would check out other women, talk about how they look good and their body shapes. That is not something anyone should be doing in a happy monogamous relationship, and especially around their female friends. I didn't feel like a side chick in the beginning of this friendship because literally just hang out, talk about creative opportunities, that's it, until they started talking a lot more deeper. So in the summer, we'd see each other minimum once a week, and it went up to 4 times a week. Then I clicked the dots and I realized Nax only hangs out with me because their girlfriend does not like going out with them. They were an on and off couple, guys. They met me back in May when they were not speaking for days, even weeks. They were actively using me to replace the romantic needs they desired in their life by calling our hangouts dates. They would open every single door. They'd pay for practically everything. We'd have dinners, and even when I wasn't that hungry, they'd still want to go out for dinner. They'd feed me, guys, literally feed me the food, share their food with me. They wanted me to meet more of their friends, their families, as I would go to events to meet people that were close to them in their lives. I actually thought this was normal because they said they like doing this with most of their friends. They're still getting to know me. Now that I look back at everything, guys, I'm actually so shocked because they acted like they are going to respect keeping this platonic friendship because they want to keep me in their lives forever and saying I'm their best friend. Yet they're afraid of what people thought of us together as platonic friends. Nax is ashamed of me in certain spaces because they don't want people to think they're cheating on their girlfriend, even though they say a lot of suspicious things. I don't think anyone who has anything to be ashamed of and claims to be a free spirit, an actual free spirit, unapologetically, would hide around this much. They mentioned they love coming over to my ends, right? I'd go to their ends, but they would come over to my ends and said they love coming in my area so they can act and do as they please. That's when I realized they're afraid of getting caught up. Since we were really close friends, we would talk about any and everything. So relationships were a big topic since they are currently in a toxic one. They would ask about my experiences, and I honestly don't really like anyone or ever go out. That's not me. I've gone out 2 people before, and that was 4 years ago. They asked me about them and their background. These were white men. Nax was not happy about that at all.
If you don't want to be African, no problem.
Nax was literally personally offended that I wasn't searching to specifically only be with a black man. I would say I like everyone. At the end of the day, I don't care about ethnicities or racial backgrounds. And they started to act like I committed a hate crime.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
However, they were perfectly fine with their black male friends having white partners. It was only me where they were disgusted and saw that as a problem. This was clearly an issue, but I brushed it off. When it comes to interracial topics, I honestly just agree to disagree with people because they're going to think however they want to think. What's crazy is now looking back, Nax calls themselves a Pan-African, right? That they just want the development and progression and the best for black people. Meanwhile, they were fetishizing me, guys. The women in their lives that they've claimed to be in love with are a lot lighter. Meanwhile, they would see me and be so infatuated with my complexion. Every chance they saw me, they always talked about how much they like looking at my skin, that it shines in the sun, that they want to touch my skin because it looks so smooth. Even licked my face. The way they talk about my features is something they cannot ever do with their girlfriend. You know why? She's of a way lighter complexion. So why are you talking to me a certain way that you can never talk to your partner?
He needs some milk.
Unfortunately, that's how it was a fetish. They want a girl with really bold African features to only screw around with.
Bruh.
So I was around for their own fetishization. There was a lot of hypocrisy of what they said when it came to black people and interracial dating. Because they were looking at me like I did something so shameful 4 years ago, guys. That's almost half a decade. Meanwhile, Nats has liked white people before.
Bruh.
He's had connections with white women. And encourages their friends, their black male friends, to date white women, the ones they like. Meanwhile, when it's black women, they don't like it. So I'm seeing some kind of ownership.
Ugh. Brother,
And they think they can dictate what makes somebody black enough. Once again, they call themselves a Pan-African. They want the best for the development of black people. That means women, men, non-binaries, all, right? But they still support Diddy, R. Kelly, and Chris Brown. Openly listening to all of their musics. These are all people that have harmed and abused black women emotionally and physically. Yet you want the betterment for the black community, but these are the people that you're supporting and giving your money to every time you listen to them.
boy, have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find
They
it.
said they felt taken advantage of, guys, before. So they felt taken advantage being someone who is physically affectionate with their friends, and people are taking it the other way. Then they looked at me and they put me in uncomfortable positions, saying they wish I could have changed my standards. Tell me this isn't them trying to have some kind of predatory deception over me, constantly saying that I'm the person they feel like they've been waiting for their whole lives, the friend that they never thought they could have, and how much they love me, only hoping they could get something out of me. That's what's crazy. They were telling me all of this after we had spent some time apart because I wanted to spend more time with my family, my cousins, nieces, and nephews. And with the whole kiss situation, I was the one that looked at them and said, this cannot happen. And obviously, I recognized they were really unhappy with the relationship if they were out here trying to cheat on their girlfriend, which by the way, Nax has been cheated on before. So I didn't think they would want to do that to somebody else. I guess I was wrong. There was distance there. I didn't hate them. I didn't even dislike them. I just decided to spend time with other people I loved. And during that period, they were texting me a lot, talking about how nothing's the same without me. They need to see me. They miss my presence. They're lonely without me. As soon as I get back from being with my family, they want to see me immediately, even the same day, in which they did. So after a 5 whole hour commute, coming back to my ends, went mini putting. And that was afterwards where I could see that they were really trying to apply this pressure. At first it was like, okay, it's fine, we're mini putting, cool. And they said, well, I'll get you food. Awesome. Yeah, it's just crazy. Every time I think they're gonna act right, they don't. They don't. Once they said they wish I could change my standards to be with them, I literally hate so much that I didn't just cut them out completely. Because I looked at them and said that literally it's not gonna happen. And they said, I know. That I know was behind a lot of hurts. They didn't want me because they liked me at all, guys. They wanted me because they're trying to escape their relationship issues, but still stay with that girl, which is crazy. Trying to drag me into that. So, because I declined this offer, that's when they started completely distancing themselves from me. And it was done in a way where they didn't cut me off completely. We would still see each other. But then something was in the air. Something really came into the air when they said, we should run a 4K race together. It wasn't just us two, it was a group of black people. It was like Toronto black runners, something like that. We go to run the race. Guys, I never thought this was the last day I was going to spend time with them because I thought we were finally on good terms of boundaries, respecting each other, understanding each other's struggles. But I was completely wrong. Constantly giving someone forgiveness and grace, hoping they're going to be better, and wishing that they're going to be better for themselves isn't always the best thing you can do. September 13th, 2025 was our 4K race. Knox really likes helping me relive childhood memories because we did a lot of the same things. So they said they've been waiting to race with someone, but they just never had a friend that wanted to do that with them. I remember after the car ride from the 4K race, one of the topics was peace of mind and religion. Knox is spiritual, I'm religious. Those are two really different things. They said they like to feel connected to God by believing in the universe and within themselves. I feel connected to God by praying, journaling, seeking Him through gospel music, Bible studying, watching sermons. Those are two different things. And that's okay. Just do what you think is best. Knox then starts asking me questions about how common is it for Africans to really be religious because they think that's more forced onto Africans by colonizers. And I explained Knox that my whole family, it's from my whole bloodline, is religious, believes in God, like churchgoers, prayers, Bible readers, actively God-fearing, actively seeking Him, making your actions reflect that. So, yeah, I would never, ever, ever deny the title of Christianity. Like, the few words in Christian is Christ, and that is who my family and I follow. I'm not even joking. I remember Knox feeling and looking a bit uncomfortable, but this wasn't new news. They always knew I was a religious girl. They always knew the standards I had, and I can't believe they're trying to break me down. They're trying to break me down, and that's why they said they wish I changed my standards. I have never seen them like this, like the whole time we were together. This is someone who originally told me when they were growing up religious, they got kicked out of Bible study. Okay, this is someone who told me that they originally grew up religious only because for them it felt more forced. Guys, this was the same day we were reading the chapter of Psalms together. I like reading books about Christianity sometimes, and they wanted to see what I was reading, so they started reading it with me. But now I understand. Knox didn't respect my religion or the standards that I held. That's why they were uncomfortable. They were hoping I was going to change for them. Just like everyone else in my past wanting me to change for them, not actually respecting me. They were shocked of how religious my family was and me talking about it after they decided to ask questions. At the end of the day, I still love people, and they think religious people just don't love people because, you know, every community can have a few judgmental folks. Some people really confuse religion with being completely judgmental. That's not what it is about me. And I think they were hoping spending more time with me and knowing me that I was just gonna abandon my foundation to let them play with me, play in my face. I think they looked really, really sad because they were probably reflecting on how they would have been perceived in my family. Like, they're not a religious person. I'm a religious person, and on top of that, I want to be a religious person too. I never wanted to be with Knox. Since I met Knox, I never wanted to be with them. Guys, you see how deep this story is? Knox would even have a bunch of religious friends, and from what I know, this isn't a bad thing. Knox has a lot of religious friends, right? But all of their religious friends were people that were like really, really in the streets, really like living a certain life, right? You know, they were just doing a lot of crazy stuff. So that's why Knox knows them, because Knox had a kind of a crazy life too. And I realized they don't know anyone that's more just calm like to seek God home a lot of the times. They don't know somebody like that. I'm the person that they know like that, because a lot of people in their circle were outside with it. And if they're not outside with it now, it's because they're religious now. But like, Knox was friends with them because they were outside with it, versus me, and now they want me to try to be outside with them. It's just crazy, guys. It's so crazy. I explained that God guides my decisions, and I'm just not going to do something just because I think about it. And then Knox says they act on instinct. So if they want to do something, they just do it, because they're not going to shut down their desires. The thing is, being a religious person and someone who loves God, you're going to have desires to do something, right? Because you're human. But then you're just like, is it really good for my future, my benefit? Am I just doing this because I want to do it? And then you don't, when you think about it hard enough. In Knox's mind, they can just do as they want, because they said they owe it to themselves to just act on their desires, which is also kind of crazy when you're in a relationship. Yeah. They mentioned they just like to go with the flow, and acting on desire is what they would do. This was the last time that I spent time with them. I didn't think it was going to be the last time I spent time with them, but it was. Suddenly, it's September 17th. And then we get into our first conflicts. After them saying how obsessed they are with me, and then saying they wish I was going to change my standards for them, and then talking about my religious standards, we get into a conflict. It's almost as if everything was lining up for them to slowly just drop me. After every time they would just do something strange, I would constantly forgive them. We got into our conflicts, and this was after the first 5 months of us knowing each other. So we're on the phone, and I keep referring to Knox as them in the video, but I did refer to them as he when I was on the phone with Knox and my sister was around. They told me that I betrayed them, and this is as bad as a white person calling me the full N-word. I was honestly shocked, guys. I acknowledge that I shouldn't have said that, but Knox never told me them was their preference. For the 5 months I've fully known them, they never told me them was their preference. The only person I've ever heard call Knox them was their girlfriend and one of their friends. That's it. I didn't hear their parents calling them that. I didn't hear their ex's family calling them that. I didn't hear anyone that went to school with them call them that either. So I just never heard anyone call them that. And they never told me. All the times that we were always talking on the phone and texting, they never said, I need you to call me them and not he. So they just cut me out after this, and there was no space for grace. I actually felt bad because I thought I was the one that messed this up, but I didn't know that they were slowly trying to cut me off after they realized they weren't going to get what they wanted from me. I felt bad because, you know, I'm not in the community. I just love my friends, and they were so mad at me. They stopped talking to me for 4 days, but they talked to me every day, even when I'm with my family. Remember when I was with my family and Knox was talking about nothing's the same without me nearby, but suddenly they can go 4 full days not talking to me? This is someone who said I make their lives brighter by talking to them every day. So within these days, these 4 days, I did wanted to educate myself and understand the gravity to what I did was wrong. I apologized several times. I sent them a little gift package, and they did not speak to me until the whole weekend was over. The problem is, on September 18th and September 21st, we literally had plans. But I knew they were canceled because they weren't speaking to me at all. They were so upset that they didn't talk to me at all, even though we had plans. I'm not saying you have to show it up to them, but you didn't even want to say, hey, I'm not going anymore. I just had to mentally make note that I'm not going to see you till I don't know when and just cancel everything, which is really weird because Knox would tell me all these hurtful things people do to them on purpose, and this was very unintentional. I wouldn't have said that if I knew that it was going to offend them. Like, personally, I feel like friends, especially best friends, would communicate if there was a problem. If they love and care about each other as friends, like if they really cared and loved me, wouldn't we have tried to make it up? Wouldn't they have just not tried to ignore me for days? And we could have even gone to our planned events? Because I'm not just a random acquaintance. They were saying I'm their best friends. I've met their family. I've met their close friends. I speak to them every single day. They talk to me about their childhood, their workplace, their ambitions, all of that. So I think it was really weird because I felt like it was dragging on for a while. Not gonna lie. Like, I understand they were upset, but upset for days while we had plans. And this is where it got even weirder, guys. September 21st, Nax decided to speak to me, calling me at the end of the night. During the call, they said they forgave me and spent all weekend with their girlfriend. When I heard this, I honestly had nothing to say. I went completely silent on the phone. You mean to tell me as soon as we had a conflict, you just ran to your girlfriend and pretend like I didn't exist? But now it's because she's sleeping, they decided to go on the phone with me. So our plans were never canceled. They just didn't want to talk to me. So they made plans with their girlfriend instead. That told me everything I needed to know about them. I was starting to think, if this is a shady person, I should have actually never trusted for this long. They completely ditched me in a moment to hang out with their girlfriend. All my messages were ignored. Even my gift basket, they just said thanks. I would have never done that to them. I would never ignore someone, especially a close friend, this long, this hard, and be so pissed off at them that I'm making plans with somebody else over the weekend. That's so weird. I explained to them that I felt like they were not holding me to the same standards they would hold other people in their lives who made these mistakes. They admitted they hold everyone to different standards depending on who they are. They even mentioned they were upset with me, but they weren't upset with me because of the pronouns. And that's why I got really confused, because they said it's their own identity issues and it doesn't matter and I can still call them he, and I just went with they. If it had nothing to do with the pronouns, why did you say that I'm discriminating against you? And it's as bad as a white man deliberately calling a black person the full N-word. Regardless, I just felt like they were really quick to shut me out of their lives. They were really quick to never want to really speak to me again. They even said they're not going to talk to me for a while because I made them uncomfortable. And so I did actually have to now communicate with them and said they were so comfortable avoiding me for days, even though we had plans, because their girlfriend was in the mood to see them. So now they don't need me anymore. I simply said, just being there is enough. I don't expect Nax to call me every single day or text me every day. Because, you know, if they're saying that they have to be a little distance, I'm like, you just have to be there. Don't act like I don't exist anymore. That's a crazy transition. I am not a second option in anyone's life. I can't believe they were flip-flopping with me. They then mentioned, in general, they're trying to talk to everybody less now, calling everyone less, not wanting to hang out with anyone, since they're starting a new semester in school. Mind you, this year I had 4 jobs and finished 2 certificate programs, and I paid bills. Yeah, I don't know. A man will have a job and go to school, and suddenly they feel like they have the whole world on their plate. Like, it's not that serious. But anyways, 2 days go by after this, no communication. They finally give me a call at night again. The date is September 23rd. It's late. They mention, they're not up to much and would like some company. I mentioned I can come by sometime. But then they said I could, but how would I intend on getting home? That's when he really hit me again. I need to let you guys know this is someone, no questions asked, that would drive me home every single time. If I went to their house, if they invited me to a function, if they want to see me after my plans, they would always pick me up and drop me off. They have even offered to pick me up even if I know I'm late to the function, without any hesitation at all. So this is something that was just offered. But suddenly, for the first time ever, for the first time in 5 months, they said they wouldn't mind company, but they have absolutely no intentions in making sure I arrive there or get home safely. They don't care to pick me up no more. What? This has never happened. So I just knew something was different. It's that woman intuition. This is the same person that would try to look out for me in crowds and in new settings, that said if anything happens, they want to know if I'm okay, and that they want to know that they're going to be someone to protect me. Yet they're treating me like they care less and less about me. I can actively feel it. I just didn't go because I go where I'm wanted. And it was the end of the conversation. I remember giving them a call during the weekend because I was going through a hard time. This was still my friend, and they were hot and cold once again. They gave me words of encouragement, but pretty much said they're too unavailable for me now. This is the same person that I would let rant about their relationship problems, that they knew respectfully the only way to fix them is to break up, because this girl constantly is ditching them and not communicating with them and leaving them stranded. Yeah. They constantly would complain about the relationship problems because they don't think their significant other, and I quote, they said, is doing anything with their lives. This is not what I'm saying. They literally said they think their significant other is not going to reach any of their goals until they're at least 50 because they just lay around and don't do much. All their friends would tell them to break up and stop complaining. But yeah, I wouldn't tell them to break up. I would just listen to them. I would just listen to them because, when your friend wants to talk to you about something, all you can do is listen, especially if it's that friend that doesn't want solutions. This was the same person that would call me, ignore their friends, and talk about how their friends are too clingy and they want to spend more time with me because they connect with me more, and their friends are just too obsessed with them. This is the same person that would tell me about their childhood trauma and upbringing because they felt comfortable enough to do so. This is the same person that says they are my community and my family. That's what they said to me. And they want me to feel comfortable enough to open up to them about anything. They would get mad when I wouldn't tell them what's happening in my life, because they say sharing a burden is half the burden. Suddenly, when I am the one going through a harder time, they just don't have the capacity anymore. But I always had the capacity for them.